Okay then, we should be good to go. A few little issues before we started the stream tonight. Not sure what's going on. I think it was actually managed to not do an update to the game. So here we are, we're in qualifying, only 5 minutes 50 seconds to go. The game looks a bit weird tonight. I don't know if that's just my eyes, but it looks a bit, I don't know how to describe it. Cartoony? Blocky? Just really flat colours. But anyway, we're here at Losail Circuit. This is the short version. So a slightly different layout to what you're probably used to. So we'll try and get familiar with it. Only, I think we got 13 or 14 runners. Just 13 at the moment. But hopefully we'll have some decent racing tonight. I know Kyle Wright has just jumped in to try and make up the numbers. He's currently sitting on pole, funnily enough, on a 1:12.3. So just to quickly go over the format for this evening, we have two 20-minute races, each with their own independent qualifying. There'll be a short practice in between the two races, mainly just to keep, just to allow the game to roll over and everybody to join the server. Mainly it's a qualifying followed by a 20-minute race, then a second qualifying, which is 10 minutes long, followed by another 20-minute race. Hello to Sam Wooldridge in the chat. I know Sam couldn't make it this evening. There's a couple more guys that couldn't make it this evening. I know Phil Nauder is at work. Hopefully he can get his phone on the sly and tune in to join us and let us know that he's watching in the chat. 3 minutes 55 to go. Currently looking at Kyle Wright, who's not on P1 at the moment. He's been outdone by Troy Fry, but also Brandon Oh, there we go. Let's try this one. Kleesnen? Let's go with Kleesnen. I may just call him Brandon from now on, but as I say that, Kyle Wright goes across the line and takes P1 once again on a 1:11.3, which is nearly a second ahead. You can see the gaps in the list. So that is gap to the leader. You can see Brandon, who's in second, Kleesnen, he's 0.8 behind, and then Troy Fry very, very close. See if we can get a full name on there, because we've only got the surnames at the moment. Pretty sure we've had more information than that before. Maybe not. Well, that's no good. That's no names. Not sure. So we're only getting surnames. That's where we go backwards on this this game sometimes. But you can see the names down the bottom, but you can't see their names in the driver list. So I'll quickly run through them, and you'll try to remember their names. So we've got Kyle Wright, Brandon Kleesnen, Troy Fry, Weilong Lin, Tom Lyons, Thomas Krunsky, Harold de Kock, okay, Milan van Koppenol, or Nolle, Thomas Kapransky, Marco Koeman, William van Lagen, Peter, Jesus, there's some names in here tonight that I am not familiar with. So here we go. Peter Bastianet. Craig Fulton. I went a little bit scouse there on that last Peter one. Anyway, Kyle Wright still on pole on a 1:11.3. If you see any of those gaps on the left-hand side change, shout. Make sure I've seen it. Yeah, the car's looking weird. Maybe Sam in the chat, if you can let me know if these cars look right, because they look like they don't have reflections or something. Normally this game looks pretty good. but it's looking very flat tonight. Maybe another update required. The front of this Mercedes looks very white and very, yeah, like it's been done on Microsoft Paint. Looks fine on your side. Maybe it's just my eyes then. Only 50 seconds to go. No improvements at the top. So it's your fault, Sam, is it? It's the livery. Let's have a look at some others. Troy Fry in the pits. So Brandon. So Van Coppenol goes into P2. So a 1:12.0, still 6 or 7 tenths behind Kyle Wright. So Kyle Wright really is in a bit of a league of his own this evening. And then Brandon in third, still on a lap. And then Troy Fry back in the pits. We've currently got Wei Long Lin. He's circulating. Thomas Kapransky. And Peter Bastinet still circulating. So these two guys together on circuit, these two on a lap. So this is second and third currently. You can see the third indicator on the door. So this is Brandon in the Porsche. Currently sits third. He'll be trying to take away that second position from Van Coppenol in second. So they come down the pit straight, a really short lap. And Brandon does take P2 from Van Coppenol. A good lap, really close between them. You see only 0.015. So if we just change that on the leaderboard, it is not updated. That's fantastic. Thank you, Le Mans Ultimate. But yeah, I can see that's a 0.015 difference between them. So really, really close for third position. Troy Fry just a little way back. A couple more tenths. So actually 4 tenths back in fourth. Harold de Kock
drivers go to the grid for a race start.
In fifth. Wei Long Lin sixth. Tom Lyons seventh. Thomas Krensky. I'm going to give up with this. Krensky in 8th, William Van Lagen in 9th, Thomas Kapransky 10th, Marco Kumin 11th, Peter Bastinet in 12th, and then Craig Fulton in 13th. The Iron Lynx Merc might be one to check. I think that is meant to be slightly shiny. Okay, so let's have a look at the Merc. Is that Troy Fry? It is. Let's have a see if we can switch around. Just something my end looks slightly off, but maybe we'll have to investigate after this evening. I don't think this is hopefully not a me issue unless all the settings have been turned down on my end. Hopefully not. Maybe I can do a quick. Can I do... What's happened there? I've lost my preview. Okay, let me just quickly jump in. Let's just check everything. I can't change anything while I'm in game, but there's a very slim chance that maybe the settings have changed, but we can see what's going on, so not too much of an issue.
Formation lap has started.
So here we go then. Hopefully we can learn the circuit as we watch the guys come round. This is a short rolling start. They'll roll round the final corner onto the pit straight. So the final corner just coming up, which is right-hander, I do believe, onto the start-finish, and then we will go green for race 1 of round 5 of the GT3 Sprint Series 2 with Slip and Grip Sim Racing. So Brandon on the left-hand side, Carl Wright on the inside.
Green flag, green flag.
Green, green, green. Here they go then. Brandon looking pretty fighty there in... Sorry, that's not Brandon. Brandon losing a position. He's on the outside. Carl Wright coming under pressure from Van Coppenol. So Brandon down into 4th position, it looks like. Lots of red cars, nearly identical liveries, so I do believe that this is a team livery. So these guys obviously in the same team, currently 3rd, 4th and 5th. Carl Wright ahead at the front, so he's managed to fend off the attack for now. A good run there from Brandon in the black and red Porsche. Getting a really good run on the back of that Mustang of Van Coppenol. Oh, as I just cut away, it looks like there's a move on for 2nd there. Not successful though. As we still have the terrible onboards. So lap 1 complete. All settles down. That's like a change position for 4th. So that's Wei Long Lin moving up into 4th. He's just gone past Harold de Kock in the BMW. So de Kock down to 5th position. And there's a car off. That's Troy Fry in the gravel, and he's tried to rejoin, but he's lost the rear of the car. Manages to get it back on the circuit, but he's lost a lot of positions down to 13th position. Let's have a little bit look further down the order. So there's a good battle going on there between Tom Lyons. No, that's not Tom Lyons, that's Craig Fulton and Marco Kuman. Craig Fulton in the Ferrari, Marco Kuman in the McLaren. A good little battle going on there. To come round then, 17 minutes 25 seconds remaining. Bit of a field spread going on, but still Kyle leads at the front. Van Coppenol managing to see off the black and red teammates who currently sit 3rd, 4th and 5th. I'll try and find out what the team name is. Oh, a little bit wide there from Brandon in 3rd. Obviously pushing to try and stay with these front 2. And he's got his teammate Wei Long Lin right behind him. See, putting him under pressure in the BMW. So 2 BMWs in this livery then, 4th and 5th. That's Wei Long Lin and Harold de Kock in 5th. Oh, really wide, nearly loses the car there for Tomasz Kapransky, and that is allowing Harold de Kock. So Harold's gone back there. I'm not sure what happened. I did miss that. But Harold dropping back. No, that is not Harold. Where are we? So that looks like William van Lagen. So we've got another BMW. Apologies to this team if I'm totally butchering your names and getting it all wrong, but your cars look very, very similar. Hence you're running the same liveries. So he's having a good little battle there with Tomasz Kapransky in 6th and 7th, and both of them go wide onto the runoff. No change in position for now, but that BMW is the red and black darker colour BMW is looking pretty fighty behind the red and white BMW. Back at the front, Carl Wright still leads from Milan van Coppenol in the Ford Mustang. So these two pretty evenly matched on pace at the moment. 25% through the race so far, and then we have this trio of teammates. So Brandon in third, then Wei Long Lin in fourth, and then De Kock in fifth. And then we have William Van Lagen in sixth. So 4 cars, all teammates, from third down to sixth. Then we have Thomas Kapransky in seventh, followed by Peter Bastianet. I really can't pronounce your name, I'm really sorry. In eighth position. Then Thomas, was that a change of position? Sorry. No, it was not. It was just the camera angle. Thomas Krensky in ninth position. Troy Fry recovering in 10th position. He's managed to get past Craig Fulton, Marco Kuman and Tom Lyons. So I think there's been an issue here. Yeah, Tom Lyons in the pits. DNF for Tom Lyons. Unfortunate for him. And he'll be hoping to have a better time of it in race 2. These two really gapping the field. 5 seconds ahead of third position, but these two not much in there in between them. Only 0.7 of a second as it stands. Let's jump on board with Milan just to see if he can do anything about this Mercedes of Carl Wright. Lots of curb taken, so track limits obviously pretty generous here. Certainly looked like Milan was taking more curb. Hello to Mate Sparky in the chat. Nice of you to join us. Do let us know if you are watching. 13 people in here this evening, so a little bit easier for us to manage. I'm sure I'll still miss things, but maybe not quite as bad as some of the larger races. Again, keep your eyes on the gap. So in the control tower, timing tower on the left hand side, you see anything below a second, such as this one. So William Van Lagen in 6th, only half a second behind Brandon Cleargent, who's actually lost a position, hasn't he? He's gone from 3rd all the way down to 5th, so his teammates Wei Long Lin and Harold de Kock overtaking him, and he's now 5 seconds down on his teammate, and under pressure from William Van Lagen, another teammate looking to take advantage of that after a promising start, dropping down the order for Brandon. Good evening to Steve Wooldridge as well. Good to have you both in here, or all 3 of you, but the 2 Wooldridge. Let us know if I miss anything, or what I miss more accurately. Close battle here between Peter Bastianet right behind Thomas Kapransky for 7th and 8th position. Having a little sniff up the inside. All the Wooldridges in the chat, that's right. Is there any more Wooldridges that we can get in? We'll drag them in, keep kicking and screaming. So across the line with 11 minutes, 11 seconds to go. This is the closest battle on track for the moment. Down to 0.2 of a second as they cross the line. Expanding on the brakes, but it sounds like the BMW just had to back out a little bit there on the exit. Just switching to the battle at the front, only 0.7 of a second. So this is really staying close. We've had 10 minutes of running just about, and less than a second to choose between these two. Certainly could be a case of one mistake changing the outcome of this race. Yes, a family gathering. Feel like we're intruding slightly now on the Wooldridge family gathering. Still really close, this battle for 7th and 8th. keeping an eye at the front because the gap down to half a second. Interesting to see where Milan is faster than Kyle Wright. I'm not sure Kyle Wright did much practice, to be fair, so he's done well to jump in pretty last minute and be right on the pace, and also consistent by the looks of things. Slightly different lines there through the fast right-hander. Looks like a really interesting oh, and that's Marco Kuman off on the side of the road. Just saw him as he was on board with Milan, so he goes back to pits, and that's a DNF for Marco Kuman. That is a shame. As they come around to complete another lap, a little twitch on the exit there. 0.8 between them. This is close again. These two battles, so the battle for the lead and the battle for 7th and 8th, certainly the closest battles on track right now. So turns out Kyle has done a lot of practice at Losail, because he's done 8 hours of Losail test, apparently. So that probably is helping Kyle to navigate his way around this shorter circuit, not the full circuit this evening. It's nice to have a change of scenery and a change of challenge. So these two really catching, looks like they're catching Thomas Kapransky. Sorry, not Thomas Kapransky, William Van Lagen. So these two really catching them up. So this is about to become a three-way fight. Yeah, Brandon Kleijnen, I can't say that. How do you say it? Kleijnen is dropped down the order to 8th now. I didn't see it on screen, but he's having a bit of a nightmare because he was battling for the lead at the start of this race and he's now down to 8th position. So not a great showing for Brandon at the moment. And this scrap, yeah, oh, and that's a big move from Brandon on his teammate in the McLaren. I hope these guys are actually teammates and this is not just a... Oh, and that's a mistake from Peter. He lost the rear of that and he made contact. I think it made contact with Thomas Krensky. Or maybe it wasn't Thomas, it might have been... Yeah. Trying to figure out who that was then. Yeah, so it was Thomas Kapransky. He just made contact with the rear of that car and around they went. Let's check in here and try and get our bearings because there's a lot of movement in this kind of front to mid pack of cars which are identical looking. So it's really difficult to see when there's been a change of position for those guys. Let's stare at the cars with the nice easy colour schemes. These two very easy to spot, but that Mustang really wide through those chicanes. I wonder how much curb you can take there. Gap up to 1.3. Then the next closest battle is actually between William Van Lagen in 5th position and Brandon Kleijnen in 6th. So he's starting to recover after being 8th. Thomas Krensky and Troy Fry having a little... Sorry, not Troy Fry. Thomas these names are really tricky, boys. Thomas oh, bloody hell! Thomas Kaspransky in the BMW and Thomas Krensky in the Mercedes. I need you guys to help me out here. Can we just stick to first names? Why can't we have first names on the... in timing tower. Anyway, Thomas on Thomas action here. Thomas lining up right in the mirrors. Is he going to go for a move, and does Thomas go defensive? Thought about it there, but doesn't in the end. Really close here between William van Lagen and Brandon. Lovely close battle here. Yeah, the pronunciations are not going well tonight. Not at all. The more I say them, the worse it gets. Far too similar. And not my mother tongue. Let's have a little rundown. Kyle Wright, while we've been watching the battle of all the identical looking cars and names, has gapped Milan van Coppenol by 4 seconds. So he is away, and I dare say safe now. So Milan in second, then Wei Long Lin in third position, then Harold de Kock in fourth position. Brandon Kliesnen in a battle here with William van Lagen. William taking fifth position back there, so I think Brandon making a position and then losing it straight back to William. So these two battling for fifth and sixth. Then seventh is Thomas Kapransky, and then Thomas Krensky in eighth. Troy Fry, oh, and that's a battle. I've missed that. I'm too busy trying to read the name. So the two Thomases going at it once again. That's Thomas Krensky down the inside of Kapransky. Really? Thomas Krensky, Thomas Kapransky? That's basically the same where I come from. Well done to Krensky though. Good move, clean move on Kapransky. Troy Fry in ninth. Peter Bastianat in 10th. Craig Fulton 11th. And then Marco Kuman and Tom Lyons retired in 12th and 13th. Where was that battle we were just looking at? Here we go then. So Kapransky trying to snatch that position back. I need all the encouragement I can get tonight, Matt. This is difficult. Can he stick with? Only 2 minutes 10 seconds to go. Quite big gaps throughout the field, other than Brandon and William. Pretty close. So Brandon catching up to the back of William for fifth position, but no change in position for a while there. 7/10 the gap. So Brandon seems pretty hot and cold. He's quick on pace, but he does seem to make mistakes because these gaps are up and down like a yo-yo. The gap between the two Thomas up to 1.2 now, so this gap has settled down. It looks like Krensky has got the pace and he's now 1.2 seconds ahead. So Brandon putting William under pressure. So Brandon in the Porsche, William in the BMW. Only 1 minute 15 to go. BMW wide, Porsche right on the back bumper here. This is going to be pretty close. Let's watch them go through this fast chicane section. Take as much curb as you please. Really late on the brakes from the Porsche. Gained a car length on the car in front, so this Porsche working well on the brakes and on corner entry. Little dab of the brakes, the BMW mid-corner. The Porsche starting to shape up for a move here, so I think they're going into the final corner here. All about how much traction and what kind of run you can get down the start-finish straight. A little bit wider, but does he get a better exit? That BMW looks like it's strong on traction and is currently gapping the Porsche. So he's not going to be able to make a move on this lap. 5 seconds to go. So where is Kyle Wright on the circuit? Is this the last corner? It's not. So he's got one more sector to go. So he's coming up to lap traffic. That's Craig Fulton in the Ferrari, the blue and white Ferrari. So he's lapping Craig Fulton. Looks like Craig wants a race. So I think he rounds the final turn. He's going to take the victory here. Is Kyle Wright 7.5 seconds ahead of the next competition. So he takes the win in race 1. Milan van Coppenol in second after a really close start to the race, but made a mistake and dropped back quite far. Wei Long Lin in third. A good race from him. No mistakes. Harold de Kock rounds the last corner, to take 4th position. Second of this team finishes. And William van Lagen and Brandon Kliejnen really close across the line. Almost a photo finish. Thomas Kerensky, after a pretty poor start, manages to make plenty of places up at the end. Thomas Kaspransky in 8th position. And then Troy Fry in 9th position in the Mercedes. Peter Bassinet in 10th. And then Craig Fulton has gone back to the pits because he was a lap down, so he has finished. So that is race 1 over. Strong showing from Kyle Wright. 7.5 seconds in the lead, or takes the win by 7.5 seconds in the end. But up until the 2/3 of the way through that race, not a great deal to separate himself and Milan van Coppenol in second position. We will take this opportunity to apologise for any butchering of the names, because there's quite a few in here that I'm probably mispronouncing, and I'm going to count probably 9 names that I'm probably screwing up. I can just about deal with Tom. I think I'm getting that one right. Maybe Troy? Don't think that could be any different. Okay, so we will have to just jump out temporarily. Stick with us. Do not go anywhere. We just need to change servers and we'll be back for race 2. Don't go anywhere. And we're back, hopefully. And I'm joined by Tom Simpkins.
Hi, Paul.
Tom.
Been stolen from another part of the Discord, but I'm here to waffle rubbish.
Yeah, well, you're here to correct me on the pronunciation
I am not.
of these dudes. Oh, why is it doing this, Tom? Why are all the cars Porsches?
And welcome to Mario Kart.
Right, we'll come back in a second. In fact, you can just watch. Oh, no, you can't because I need to put a password in. Right, be right back. Right, we'll try that again. Yeah, Sam V1.0. Is it actually still on 1.0, or have we advanced anywhere away from that? I'm not sure. But hopefully we'll be able to see some actual liveries this time once the once we're loaded. Let's have a look. There we go. We have
actual cars.
actual cars. V.1.1.2. That's very specific to Sam. I feel like Sam might need to leave the house a bit more. Oh, massive slide there from Wei Long Lin. You'll notice there is a name in here, Tom, that you may enjoy.
Wouldn't claim to enjoy it.
Yes.
You, I don't know. Well, you're vegan, aren't you?
No.
Fry. Are you referring to Fry? I thought you had a vegan dog.
No, I think we're
Be
currently
fine.
it's currently on screen.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think even vegans sometimes dabble in that kind of area, but I'm not sure. Right, qualifying has started, so they all roll out into the pit lane. Let's see if Tom Lyons can have a better time of it. Absolute shocker for Tom in the first race. I think he pulled out within the first. What is going on with the camera angle in the pit lane, by the way? Is he drunk, this cameraman? Yeah, he pulled out within a couple of laps of the start of race 1. I'm not sure if you caught that, Tom.
No, I didn't. I've not really seen it.
Okay, well, you're in for a treat. Kyle starting from the pit. Is he doing a burn from the stern? Or could he do that? I think that would be entertaining, wouldn't it? Can we do a poll? Can we do that? Let me see. Start
How
a
is
poll.
Stephen?
Kyle Wright. Pit lane start. Place your votes now. He's got 9 minutes to decide. I think he's certainly capable of it, judging by his first race performance. So just to give you a quick breakdown, Tom, Kyle was chased very closely by Milan van Coppenol, but ultimately won by 8 seconds because we think Milan made a mistake about 2/3 from the end. There's about 5 or 6 cars with identical liveries because I think they're teammates. And 2 of them have nearly identical names as well. So
Right.
it's really easy to differentiate between these guys. Who's that? Who's that Mercedes? Oh, there's a new person. Carlo Drazio. I like that name. That's a better name. It's quite a smart livery as well.
Better name.
It's an easier name to pronounce than Brandon. I've gone with Kliesnen.
Okay.
Where else we got? Yeah, so we got Thomas Kroenski and Thomas Kaspransky. And then Peter Bastianet. Yeah. Oh, and Carlo Durazio, which is a much better name, has binned it. He's just stayed out of the gravel. So he'll have to restart that effort. He's gone back to the pits. Going to take a while to heat up the tyres, but... and Harold de Kock jumps on top.
Quickly outdone by Lyons. Lyons is now above de Kock. Fry to second. Oh, Fry and Lyons close, and then Wright just annihilate.
Yeah, Troy Fry on top of de Kock. Now,
Lynn jumps into second, so the times are tumbling. We've seen this on the Sundays. We've seen it previously.
yeah, absolutely.
The initial timings are not much to go by.
Does look like de Kock is falling from that initial rise to the top. He's now dropping down.
Number of drivers in pit? Is this the case? Are we... Obviously we saw Durazio in the gravel. Oh, he's coming out now.
Sorry, I was temporarily away from the microphone there. I was giggling
Van
to myself.
Poppenoor.
So,
Two drivers still in pit. Another round of improvements coming in.
yeah. And now Kyle Wright on top of de Kock. Sorry, we need to stop this. It's ridiculous. Oh, I need to stop
We've
it.
dropped to fourth now. Fry's ahead. Wright's back on top. Lyons has come through half a second behind.
Yes. I'm expecting good laps from Brandon. So Brandon, if we quickly look at Brandon, he qualified, I think, third and was nearly up to P1 at the very start of the race. But then, we've lost some liveries again, does look like. But then he dropped down to about 8th, so quite inconsistent from Brandon. Just going to try and see which... Oh, look at that. Marco Kuhn has changed cars. He's gone from the McLaren to the lovely liveried Porsche. Just going to try and see which livery we're missing there. Just excuse me while I switch through all of these cars.
You are excused.
Oh, it's Craig Fulton. That shouldn't be a problem because Craig Fulton very rarely features on the stream. Just kidding, Craig. You can do it. But there's only one, so we're going to allow you to have that livery because otherwise I've got to restart the server. I'm sorry. Okay, Carl Wright on a 1:11.3, which I do believe is about the same time as he put in qualifying 1. So obviously decided not to start from the pits, despite the poll showing that he should indeed start from the pits with 100% of the votes. Yeah, so...
Who was it in the chat? Look, you know, the one person in the chat that disliked it.
Disliked? It was probably Kyle, I'd imagine.
Oh, Kyle voted for himself to start from the pit.
No, everybody voted, but I couldn't tell you how many votes that is. It's just 100%. So, yeah.
Enthralling data there, Paul.
Yeah, it's a lot of data and a lot of analysis required to determine that he should start from the pits. That's all that matters, really. Okay. Let's gather our composure. There's 5 votes. I can see there's 5 votes. Sorry, I'm still trying to find the data, but I just can't see who. There's only 7 viewers, so who knows?
Not us.
No. Okay, who's on a fast lap? Looks like Harold de Kock on a reasonable one. 26.0 for the first sector. Very, very short lap here. 1:11 or 1:10 for Kyle right now. So 1:10.8. He is a whole second above Wei Long Lin. So Kyle showing some strong pace once again.
Always very impressive, always really quick to get on pace.
Yeah, absolutely. We think, well, he has done a lot of running around Losail, but he did only decide to drive a matter of minutes before the qualifying went live, and he qualified pole. So, yeah, Kyle showing everyone the way to go at the moment. How is Milan van Koppernol doing? Because he qualified second in the first race. Seems to be really struggling for race 2 though. 1:12.6, which is 1.7 seconds off the pace at the moment, which is significant compared to race 1 or the qualifying 1. William van Lagen in the pits. Only 1:45 to go, so that will be his efforts over. Thomas Kerensky also in the pits, and then Marco Koeman choosing to pit as well, so he'll start from the back of the grid. Let's have a quick check-in with Tomasz Kapransky. See if he can move up from 8th position currently. Currently sits on a 1:12.323, a little bit wide there. He needs to find a couple of tenths and he might improve quite significantly. As we say that, Milan van Koppernol does improve significantly onto a 1:11.7, still a second behind, but that puts him on P2 so far. Thomas Kapransky does not improve on that lap, so he doesn't improve on 9th position. He's actually dropped a position there. Troy Fry has pitted, so that's his efforts over. Tom Lyons has also pitted. Carlo Dorazio will be able to complete another lap, so he's about to cross the line now. Currently on a 1:12.259. He does improve on time by 2/10, but does not improve on position. Craig Fulton coming... No, not coming across the line. It looks like we've got another Porsche liveried car somewhere. Wei Long Lin currently sits 3rd. Can he do anything about the top 2 cars? He's on a 1:11.8 at the moment. He needs 2/10 to jump Milan van Koppernol, who just improves by another 2/10 on his own time. Wei Long Lin does not approve. Looks like Milan has gone back to pits, and so will Wei Long. Brandon Kleesen in 4th currently. He's made progress throughout this session.
Yeah, a 10th down through the first sector if we're believing the bottom right.
Yes.
Looks fairly smooth, but again, 0.1 down. At that point in the lap, you're only going to potentially get 3rd because you need half a tenth. Middle sector, 0.6 down. This is where the graphic in the bottom right is going to be completely wrong and he'll be on pole.
He could improve. And he
to second.
does.
There we go. That makes so that's against the leader's time and not your time.
Yeah, it
Right,
does
so
appear.
0.6 off of 0.8 off of Kyle.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go then. That was exciting, wasn't it? Van Koppernol as well has.
We've got a question in the chat from, I think that is Milan van Koppernol, asking who is the alien in the front. And despite his looks, he is actually
That's Kyle.
human. Yes, it's Kyle Wright, I can confirm he's a real person. See him in the flesh.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
Don't worry too much. He's just plenty of practice, but he is very fast. Okay, so a short rollover for race 2. It'll be about a minute, as you can just see on the screen. And then it will be the start of race 2. And can anybody do about... Oh, that was wrong, wasn't it?
Can anyone do anything about Kyle?
That's exactly what I meant. The alien at the front. What was that alien film called? Oh, that was called Paul, wasn't it? That's
Probably
a
why
shame.
you remember it and none of us do.
Yeah, the one with Nick Frost and the other one. Hot Fuzz.
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg. Indeed. Yeah,
Was
I don't
surprised.
think I've actually watched that film. It must have been not very good. Anyway, slightly sidetracked. Look for the dive into turn 1. Okay, so Milan is winding up. Yeah, Simon Pegg in the chat.
Formation lap has started.
Simon Pegg's in the chat. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
Simon
we've
Pegg
made
is
it.
in the chat. Unfortunately, because the stream is quite delayed, yeah, we see the chat much further behind our conversation. But yeah, Simon Pegg is in the chat and he's ready to join the server. Now, watch out for Milan van Coppenol in the Ford Mustang. He is ready to send. Maybe that is the
Declared.
only battle against Kyle.
Declared a Tom Daly inbound. It's going to be a dive.
Yeah, this is from the top board. Mr. Bean Styley.
Right, so yes, we've got 4 matching liveries.
Yes. Look at that. It's easy
Right,
to see the difference,
okay.
isn't it?
Is it RJS the team?
Green
Say
flag,
RJS?
green flag.
Oh, it's gone green. Who cares? Good launch from Fry down the front.
Kyle defending on the inside.
Fry's gone to the pits. It was an incredible launch. So good. Round the outsides into T1 in the Porsche.
That is Brandon. He got off to a really good start in the first race as well, but yeah, he's already lost the position back to Kyle.
Ran out of road. Mustang up into 3rd. The waylaid black and red liveried RJS machine ends up off the circuit as they come down to what I assume is another corner, because I have no idea where the track goes.
It's just lots of fast chicanes, to be honest.
Under spotlights.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just kind of watching the race and seeing what happens.
Close at
good
the
gap.
front between
Yeah.
Brandon and Milan. So Milan in 3rd. He's going to get a good run here, though, I think. He'll be looking to pull a move on Brandon here. Does Brandon defend? Chooses not to.
No defence. That is, given what we saw on lap 1 with the car running wide and losing position, the inside was looking like the place to be, and it was. Good run there by Van Coppenol.
Yeah, good little battles all the way down the field so far, and that is Brandon wide. Seeing a bit of it, in the AMG Mercedes
Rejoin.
takes avoiding action of the sea of black and red cars. So Brandon, after that good start in race 1, also gets a good start in race 2, but then drops down to 6th position, which is, I think, his finishing position for race 1. So again, after a promising start, down to 6th position. Teammates.
It is good to see these battles going on.
And that is Marco Kuman losing it in the background. Sorry to interrupt there, Tom.
That's all right.
Just caught Marco losing the car in the background. Kyle Wright
It's become part of the background.
he was nearly in the tyre barrier. Kyle Wright 1.5 seconds ahead after a couple of laps. 17 minutes 20 seconds to go. Can anything be done about Kyle Wright's pace? I'm not sure it can. So we might have to watch a little bit further down the field for some action. Carlo D'Orazio, after joining after race 1, unable to join the first one due to the update to the game, currently runs third, and that's quite a strong showing for him, and he's ahead of this train of teammate cars. 2 or 3 BMWs and a Porsche. Oh, and that's a very unusual line there from Carlo D'Orazio, so he's got it wrong, and that's allowed Wei Long Lin to get right on the back of the 63 car, and this is for the final podium position. Looks like Tom Lyons bumping across the curbs in the background. He's having a good little battle with William Van Lagen. So Lexus versus BMW, that is Thomas Kerensky going a little bit wide on the final corner in the pink BWT sponsored Mercedes, and he's got Peter Batianet right behind him, who's looks like he's swapped cars to the orange and black McLaren this time around. Craig Fulton's car is now loaded, and he's in the blue and white Ferrari. Tom Lyons getting really close to the back of William. This is really shaping up, and Tom Lyons goes wide. Oh, and he nearly loses the car. Takes slightly avoiding action, but nearly tightens the car too much and nearly loses the rear. So we've got
that slightly avoiding action.
Slight avoiding action is probably the more correct term, but still wrong. Wei Long Lin having a good. These the top kind of 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, and even 7th are very close actually. Quite a equal battle between all of these guys. As we watch this stream of cars come down, so that's Carlo D'Orazio in the yellow and black Mercedes, then Wei Long Lin, Brandon Kliesnen, William Van Lagen, Tom Lyons and Thomas Kerensky, all pretty close on track at the moment. Not the most useful view there.
But yeah, 20 minutes is a short race, so they can absolutely batter the tyres. They keep the cars fairly light on fuel, because it is an endurance simulator, isn't it? So to run a sprint race on it does mean they can run the cars at optimum and just drive hell for leather.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have to worry too much about. I mean, it is supposed to be an endurance simulator, but up until recently, 2 hours was the longest race you could do. I do think that has changed now, though.
Kerensky's got De Kock 0.5 behind him. They are getting significantly closer.
Yeah, he's going to have to be careful here, because down the end of this straight he could find De Kock inside him on turn 1 if he's not careful. Craig Fulton having a better race here in 10th position. Decent showing from Craig, and actually William Van Lagen very close to the back of Tom Lyons.
Fulton 0.6 away. This is prime for Fulton, isn't it? He loves to chase. De Kock is right there, 0.01. It's happening, Paul. You're missing. It happened.
What's happened?
De Kock has got ahead of.
Oh, it looks like lagging. All I heard was Craig Fulton likes to chase De Kock, and I was otherwise engaged after that moment. But yeah, Craig Fulton right on the back of Peter Here we go then, Craig's got to run. Peter goes defensive. Let's jump off board to have a look. Still side by side, and he chops the front off Craig's Ferrari there, so Craig will have to have another go later in the lap. This is the closest battle, so William van Lagen and Thomas Krensky in 7th and 8th, but again the battle between 9th and 10th with Craig Fulton and Peter going up and down. Craig Fulton has definitely got the jump on De Kock in terms of pace, managing to pull out from De Kock by a significant margin. Carl Wright in a race of his own, 2.6 seconds ahead, so again, like, we're seeing quite a close battle in terms of pace. Whether Kyle's just taking it easy, but I dare say he probably, you know, it isn't that important of a race to really worry too much about if you get it wrong. But Milan van Coppenol really trying to pull out all the stops to stay with them, and then Carlo D'Razio doing well to stick on the back of him as well. A couple of seconds between these four, around 2 seconds between each of them, and then a further 4 seconds back to Brandon Kleesnen, who's having a slightly stronger showing, a bit more consistent in this race. Tom Lyons 1.6 seconds further back, and he has William van Lagen on the back of him, and then there's this train of Thomas Krensky, Peter, Craig Fulton and Harold De Kock bringing up the rear. Sorry, that's not De Kock in the rear, that is Thomas Kaspransky in the rear. Sorry, Troy Fry much further back. Let's stick with this little train of cars, see if we can spot the closest battle between these lot. Looks like there's been a mistake by Milan van Coppenol. He's now 5.3 behind, and that has allowed Carlo D'Razio and Wei Long Lin to catch up. Only a second. He's really wide through there, so that's got to be a track limit warning, I'd imagine. Oh, and mayhem at the back. De Kock has gone hard on the brakes and managed to get past Carlo D'Razio. So we were watching D'Razio earlier, and the next moment he's at the back of the field. So apologies if we missed that on the stream. I didn't see it. I don't know if you saw it, Tom, but D'Razio down into 11th.
No, apologies, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, and a really, really close battle as he goes up inside. Tries to pull a move on De Kock, but unable to do it. He's wide across the gravel, following Peter through there in the McLaren. So that's a nightmare for Carlo D'Razio after he was praising his efforts earlier on. Let's jump a little bit further up, because this is getting close between Thomas Krensky and William van Lagen. Tom Lyons a little bit further up in the Lexus, but he looks like he's escaped the battle here. 8 minutes to go. A really close race so far. Sam Waldridge in the chat, looks like there might be a medical emergency for his dad. Somebody call an ambulance. So riding on board De Kock, closing in on the back of the McLaren. The McLaren goes defensive. De Kock goes for the outside. unable to do anything. Oh, and that is Thomas Krensky spun at turn 1. So he's falling down the order into 12th position after that close battle in the mid-pack. Tom Lyons still 2.5 seconds in front of this battle, but you can see there's 6 cars here. So that's Brandon down to Carlo D'Orazio in this little fight. With only 7 minutes to go, this could go any which way. Oh, and Carlo D'Orazio gets really wide, loses the rear. And that's Harold de Kock getting really sideways as well. He's had to take avoiding action there. So these two, lucky if they don't come together here. And Carlo D'Orazio is through into 9th position. If he keeps his pace up, he could make his way all the way to the front of this little battle. Yeah, there is a bit of horseplay going on the stream, but purely professional horseplay. Tom Lyons in a lonely 4th. Good showing from him, certainly compared to the first race. And then, as we've said, Brandon Cleason in 5th position with a bit of a gap now to Craig Fulton through into 6th position, taking all the curb there. But that is a good showing from Craig. He's making his way through, picking his way through these mistakes. A little bit leery around the outside there. I have no idea what Sam Wooldridge is on about in the chat, but apparently we've got to say the word Grundies. What's a Grundy? Like a dirty undies? Tom's gone missing.
I'm astounded that the stream's not been taken down yet. I'm going to have to disappear. Apologies. I know I've added a thrilling amount of commentary to this. I do apologise, but all drag me into the chat.
No, it's been good. I feel like you've brought a lot to the stream. And
well, to be honest, I feel like I've taken more from the stream this evening. It's been an incredible stream.
Oh, William Van Lagen into the wall, hard, up in the air, and he's spun 360. Apparently it's to jump in there, Tom, but that's a DNF for William Van Lagen. He was going well.
It's a horrendous accident.
That is horrendous.
And it's meant there's still some close battles up behind Craig. Craig is the ball in the bottle.
He is. Oh, and that's Brandon. Brandon on the inside, very slow.
Craig's 5th.
Yeah, Craig is on it. Look at this little gaggle into. Is this the final corner? Oh, and his contact, and Brandon's round.
What's happened?
De Kock takes avoiding action. He's going backwards. So Brandon, again, with that lack of consistency, he's managed to get himself in a mistake. He looks like he's stalled the car or something. Let's have a quick look here. So, and a drive-through for Craig Fulton. Is that track limits? I dare say it is. So all of that hard work from Craig comes to nothing. I do realise you said you had to go, Tom.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure, and maybe we'll see you on Sunday. That's Tom Simpkins, so he's just leaving the commentary. Yeah, Tom. Oh, he's just tripped on the cables on the way out. I'll tidy them up later. Shut the door, Tom. It's freezing in here. Right, okay, who have we got? 3 minutes to go. Kyle Wright in the lead, 7.7 seconds from Milan van Koppenol in 2nd position. Waylon Lin in 3rd, 5.5 seconds back from him. 10.9 seconds further back is Tom Lyons. And Carlo D'Orazio, as we said, has managed to fight his way all the way back up to the front of that pack after having an incident earlier and dropping way back. Craig Fulton alongside Harold de Kock. Craig Fulton has de Kock on the inside. He's not a fan He's switched him back to the outside again, and now it's on the inside of him. Craig having De Kock every which way here. Craig over the rumble strips there massively, and he's probably going to get another drive through if he's not careful, because he's already got one drive through. That's Thomas Kroenski. I can't say the names again. Tom Kroenski closing up behind Tom Kaprenski. I'm just give up. Tom and Tom getting very close on the track. Oh, and he goes wide there. He nearly loses the car, bouncing across the curbs. Looks like there's no real close battles other than this one. The field spread is significant now. And when did this happen? When did Tom Lyons go back to the pits? A DNF for Tom Lyons. And, well, we saw Brandon not getting it started. William Van Lagen, he had the big off into the wall. But Tom Lyons, for the second time running, has a DNF. That is a massive shame. Craig Fulton goes through to serve his drive-through, and we switch back on with the drunken man in the pit lane, the drunken cameraman. And Craig has served his penalty now, so he will be last other than the 5 DNFs. So only 8 people on the lead lap now. To check in with Carl Wright, 8.7 seconds ahead. A strong showing from Kyle. Milan van Koppenol again dropping a little bit further behind after a slight mistake earlier on, 8.6 seconds behind. Wei Long Lin in third position once again, and Carlo Dorazio has managed to make a miraculous recovery all the way up to fourth position after that incident earlier on that we didn't see. We were focusing on the cars around him, so there's a chance that it was captured on stream, but we just didn't see it. Peter Bastianet in the McLaren for this race in 5th position, not bad. Harold De Kock in 6th position ahead of Thomas Kerensky in 7th. And then he's managed to gap Thomas Kapransky by 3.5 seconds, so these two were together on track. As the timer ticks down to 0, and we just catch Carl Wright crossing the line. We nearly missed you again. Milan van Koppenol in 2nd position. Then Wei Long Lin takes 3rd position. Then Carlo Dorazio a little bit further behind, 12 seconds behind 3rd position. Rounds the final turn and crosses the line to take 4th position. Then Peter follows closely behind to take 6th position. A great finish for De Kock ahead of Thomas Kerensky and Thomas Kapransky in 8th position. And then we saw Craig Fulton having that drive through earlier, so he's got a little bit of work to do to complete the race 2, and he's off the circuit. I think it's all gone to his head after a good showing for Craig. He managed to get up to 5th position, but then was shortly after struck with a drive-through penalty, and he looks like he's still quite wide there. For some reason, we do have sound, it's just very quiet at that Ferrari, so he finishes and completes race 2. And that is all the action for this evening. Apologies if there was some childish innuendo throughout the stream. There's just some things, some opportunities that you can't pass up. So we didn't. Thanks very much for joining us in the chat once again. Hopefully all the lads can watch this back during their tea breaks tomorrow. Not a massive turnout this evening, but pretty good all the same. Some close racing, and the sprint races are a lot more entertaining in general. Join us on Sunday. I should be streaming the multi-class endurance on Sunday, and please smash the old subscribe button, because it's all good, isn't it? And thanks to you boys for jumping in and joining in the chat as well. Big thanks to you lot. And I'll see you at the weekend. Cheers. Bye-bye.